All right, you guys, let's get this started here. So basically, for the last 12 years now, I've been doing a specific diet system. And, like most of us, we've been through you guys, we've all done all the diet stuff. Um, eat right for your blood type, for the five element types, for Ayurveda and, the doshas and all that. And we've all been through all the things and have tried a million things with the diet. 12 years ago, my mom introduced me to a Korean practitioner who has basically what is an 8 constitution diet system that I will say is hands down the most amazing, accurate, and comprehensive diet system I've ever seen. I have never seen anything like it. And in 12 years, I have probably sent a million patients to him. And pretty much every single time, it's a big win for the patient. Um, and this is a big departure from what we've been up to. I make no money pitching this guy, except to say that I don't know what I'd be doing diet wise if it wasn't for this guy. So basically, what he does is he takes your pulse. And he takes your pulse in a weird spot on your arm, on your forearm, like halfway up your forearm. And based on your pulse, that's it. He might ask you a question or two, but based on your pulse, he'll tell you what your type is in this 8 constitution system. And based on your constitution, one of the 8 types, you get a very specific list for your diet. Okay. And the way that it works is he's got a list of things. So he's got your double zeros. So those are all the foods that you need to eat a lot of. You've got your zeros, which are also great. Then you got your triangles, and the triangles are neutral, but actually not good for you. But those are the ones that you can, occasionally cheat and eat those ones. Maybe something nice is on the list that you like. Maybe bananas are a triangle for you, but you like bananas, so you just eat them every once in a while. That's the idea of the triangles, but you're not supposed to eat them. Then you have your X's and your double X's, and those are naughty, right? So for me, for example, when I first went to see him 12 years ago, my digestion was terrible. It was just, I was like, and what I was doing was I was doing the typical thing during school, no, this was later. I was doing the typical thing, which was to increase my greens, leafy greens, decrease my meat, more rice, more greens, and less meat to try to get on top of this. And it just was bad. It was just, the food was just sitting in there kind of churning around. Finally, my mom introduced me to this guy. She had gone to see him, and her digestion, which is horrible, was improved dramatically. She was like, you got to meet this guy. Come on up. So I went up and I saw him, and he takes my pulse. So I'm laying there, and he kind of looks at me, and people sort of just assume I'm a hippie or something. He was like, you're not eating leafy greens, are you? And I was like, well, yeah, actually, like, I eat a lot of leafy greens because my digestion is terrible. He's like, nah, for your type, no leafy greens. So I was like, oh, well, this is 12, 15 years ago me. I was like, well, what do I eat? What's healthy here? And he was like, for you, basically no vegetables that grow above the ground. So for my type, my particular type, one of the 8, I'm supposed to eat vegetables that grow on the ground, like squashes and zucchini, these things, and then root vegetables, things that grow in the ground. Okay. And just making that switch, I've never had that problem since. What I would get is I would eat like, salads or cooked greens or whatever it was, didn't matter, even the softest greens, and the food would just kind of, it was like churning. It would almost be like if you put water and kale into a bad blender and the kale just kind of chopped around but never quite liquefied. That's what my stomach felt like all the time. And so this was just my life, right? So then now I don't eat them, and if I do, it just go right back to that digestive thing. So for my type, for example, I'm not supposed to have fish. And what I've noticed over the years is as I get older and my digestion slowly kind of weakens, over time, which it happens to all of us, noticed I've gotten a little more sensitive to fish over the years. And if I eat fish, I will get my body will get cold. Like cold, but not just like cold, like, ooh, it's a little brisk outside, like cold, like hypothermia, like the way people describe hypothermia, like a crushing internal cold, a shivering that no amount of hot water and blankets can cure. The only thing that does is like a big cup of hot, spicy ginger tea. Then that kind of goes away. But it's like hypothermic, heart gripping cold. It's very, very unpleasant. And sometimes if I eat fish, my face will kind of get rashy on me. Right. Suffice it to say, I don't eat much fish. The other one for me that I'm not supposed to eat is pork, and pork gives me a life-altering headache. And so I'll occasionally cheat and eat fish because sushi's nice, but pork, you couldn't pay me to eat pork because the headache that I get from that is just unbearable. So this is what it is. So what he does is he outlines for you all the different meats. So for me, the fundamental thing of my physiology is my lungs aren't super strong, so my body has trouble keeping it warm. Thus, the fish responds. So I'm supposed to eat things that are warming foods. So beef is my big one. That's like the big one for me. And I do notice when I eat beef, like where I most notice it is if I, for some reason or another, take a break from beef for a while, accidentally or whatever, and then come back to it. I'll notice my energy picks up all of a sudden. My bowel movements get stronger all of a sudden. Like, it just really helps everything. I'm warmer. I sleep better, actually. But he'll basically break down all the animal proteins for you. So, like, for example, no fish, no pork. For me, no egg whites. So I can eat egg yolks, but no egg whites. And that was a big one for me because I started to notice that eggs were just causing joint aches for me. Right. And so the minute I stopped, then I started to notice after he said it, I was like, oh, I'm noticing with egg whites, like when I eat egg whites, I get kind of like, it's almost like external attack sensation, kind of that weird kind of vague joint ache all over the body. Not very pleasant, not a huge problem, but not pleasant. So, dairy or not, I'm allowed to have dairy, but I need to drink it warm. So no like cold milk for me. Okay. Vegetables I told you about. There's a whole list of fruits. Like, for example, for me, I'm not supposed to have berries, no stone fruits and things. A lot of these summer fruits I can't have because summer fruits by nature are cooling. My system doesn't want to be cooled. It wants to be warmed. He goes through the different grains, different nuts, even the drinking water. So like for my type, you can probably guess warm drinking water, but 4 of the 8 types are cold drinking water. They should wake up every morning. This is going to sound insane. They're supposed to wake up every morning and have a tall glass of ice water first thing. I know it sounds nuts, but that just fits with what's going on with them. And the patients that I've had who are those types, when they drink hot water, it's not so good for them. They don't feel that good. But when they drink cold water, it calms their nervous system. They're actually less irritable. It improves their digestive systems. Because those types who need cold water are often prone to things like reflux. And they drink that cold water and their digestion improves. Their mood improves. It's quite amazing to watch. I've seen this too many times. So each of the 8 types has its own description as far as which organs are strong, which organs are weak, and why your diet plays into all of this. It even has like sort of personality structures around it. I will warn you ahead of time that 2 of the types are incredibly restrictive, meaning in a way, all they can eat is fish, rice, and greens, no oil, no spices, no dairy, no nothing like that. It's a very, very incredibly restrictive, but very simple diet. The funny thing with those types is most of them struggle with it to some degree, but most of them will admit when they find out what their type is and what their diet is, they'll say, yeah, this fits for me. They'd already kind of backed themselves into that corner anyways, just trying to figure out what they can eat. Right? So it ends up working out for them in the end. And it's those 2 types, they're the ones who need that diet the most because they are the most affected out of all of the 8 types. To my mind, in my eyes, they are the most affected by eating things like meat. A lot of vague sort of autoimmune problems, a lot of pain, adrenal fatigue. There's a whole setup there for them that's problematic. And so diet definitely helps with that. This diet definitely helps with that. So I pitch this to you guys. Again, I'm not making any, it's not for me, but only because this system, I'm not saying it changed my life, but I just swear I don't know what I'd be doing without it. It really is huge. I have a patient that I treated 4 times for arthritis. And I just wasn't getting anywhere. After the fourth treatment, I was like, look, I'm going to be honest, like, this is not going anywhere, and I'm not seeing what I want to see here. You're young enough that within 4 treatments, we should have seen some change here. I'm just not getting anywhere. I want to stop treatment. I want you to go make an appointment with this guy and go get your diet type. She does. She goes to see him. I talked to her later, and she was like, yeah, it was funny because when I was sitting there on the table, he looked at me and he goes, okay, you're not eating chicken, are you? And she goes, well, she's like, that's all I eat. She's like, I've eaten chicken twice a day for 20 years because it's the only thing my husband will eat. And he said, yeah, for your type, no chicken. So she's like, so I went off chicken. She's like, my arthritis went away. I mean, this was like really bad arthritis. She's like, it all just almost completely went away. She goes, you know how I know for sure? She goes, after 2 months of doing the diet, everything feels fine and stuff. And you know how you are, you just forget what's what and that. And she's like, I went to a barbecue with some friends and they were serving chicken and I ate some chicken. And then she's like, I was fine all day. I didn't notice a thing. She's like, I woke up the next morning and my hands were absolutely gnarled, like just back to where she was originally. So she's like, I never ate chicken again. She's like, and I've been fine. These kinds of stories. The first people who will notice the difference with this diet change are people who struggle with their digestion, people who just have problems with their digestion. Like, here's a good example. I am allowed to, because I need my body to be warmed, I'm allowed to have curry, like all the spices associated with curry, all the spices associated with chai, generally all of them, because they warm my system. But the difference there that this guy makes is that I'm not allowed to have anything that's spicy. So I'm allowed to have spices, but no spicy. So no chili peppers, jalapenos, those kinds of things, right? And I live in Southern California, so the best food in Southern California, of course, is Mexican food, and there's a lot of spices there. So but this one piece, I notice when I eat curry, I feel incredible. I feel absolutely warmed and satisfied and relaxed and all these things. And if it's spicy, then my digestion, I pay for it later. I just notice the difference. I'll tell you a story. I have a friend of mine, and he's pretty young. His digestion is strong. I've eaten out dinner with him a million times, and we eat whatever, and he never is fine. His digestion's fine. He eats whatever, and he's fine. He gets his diet type. It's actually the same type as the gal with the arthritis. And I actually hadn't seen him for a couple of months. We were busy, and then we got together, and I was like, hey, how's your diet type going? It's been a couple months now, and he goes, my diet type's pretty bland, I'll be honest. It's a little boring, because his type, they're not really, like where I'm supposed to eat spices, that type, no spices, no onions, no spices, nothing spicy. He's like, it's a little bland, I'll have to admit. He's like, but I've been sticking with it. He goes, yeah, I'll tell you what I notice. He's like, I am much more calm. I'm more relaxed. He goes, and I'll tell you what happened to me was just a couple of weeks ago. This was the second time this had happened to him. He went out for dinner, ate something spiced, maybe even spicy, and he goes, I didn't notice any problems. He's like, but the next morning when I woke up, I was irritable, like real irritable. He's like, I didn't really connect it the first time it happened, but the second time it happened, then I connected it. And he's like, now I just don't. And I have to say, looking at him, hanging out with him, his skin looked different. His whole vibe was different. The whole thing was just different. He was just more relaxed, more himself, let's say. So these are the kinds of things. So those of you with digestive issues are going to be the first to notice this change. You're going to see your digestion get better. I guarantee it. It really is quite amazing. Here I am, I'm going out on a limb and saying that everyone, I don't care where you live, you need to see this guy. He's based in LA, North Orange County. I don't care if you live in Dubai. Come to Southern California and see this guy. It's worth your time. So what it is 8 Constitution Korean medicine. There are a number of practitioners around who are doing this. The problem there is, and this is what he says, is that his father in Korea had a small bit of fame in Korea. So a lot of people wanted to train with him. And he said what a lot of people would do is they would come and train with his father in Korea, and they would just stick around for 6 months. and they would just learn the diet system and just a little bit of the acupuncture, and then they would bounce, and then they would go set up shop for themselves, thinking that they knew what they were doing. And he said the problem is that the diet, the pulse system is difficult to learn. It takes a lot of time. I've seen the charts and the differences in positions, pulse positions between the different types. Some of them are pretty darn subtle. Like it's like one position on the right side that's a little bit different that would point you to two very different types. So he said it takes a good 6 years to really kind of be consistent. And he said even he's been doing it for his whole life almost. And he said, he's 90%, 95% sure. Like 95%, 90 to 95% of the time, he's good to go. Some of them are pretty similar, like I said, so it can be a little tricky. But and this is a guy who's been doing it for who knows how long. So the problem is that there are a number of 8 Constitution medicine practitioners around the world, really. But you have to be careful because their skill at accurately assessing your constitutional type. He said that he's like, I don't mind if people, are doing this. I want everyone to do it, the pulse types and get it figured out. But he's like, the problem is what I'm finding is that most of the time, let's say it this way, a lot of the time when I'm catching those patients who saw those guys first, they're often wrong, very often wrong. So I know what you're going to do is you're going to look up 8 Constitution medicine and find somebody around you that does it. Hopefully, if you're lucky, just be mindful that this is a problem. This is a consistent problem that he's seeing. So that said, I think it would be well worth it if you're anywhere, even remotely on this planet. You should just make a plan to come, because I am putting myself out there and saying this is 110% the most amazing thing that I've ever seen as far as diet is concerned. It's the most accurate, most comprehensive. The list of foods that you can and can't have is long, really long. And it's very comprehensive for your life. So, okay, the dude's name is Dr. Kuon, Kuon. He's a Korean guy. He's in Buena Park. His website is ECMed, so 8 Constitution Med, ECMED, ecmed.org, ecmed.org. What you do is you go on his website, get his email, and send him an email, and that's how you set up an appointment. There's no online booking. You just email him, set up an appointment, and you go, and you see him. The way that it works is he sets you up. Your appointment's at 3, and the appointment is from 3 to 4. What you do is you show up any time between 3 and 4 and get in line. Okay, so that's what you're doing. So you find your little sign-in sheet, put your name there, and then keep an eye on everyone who's in there. You can even turn and ask everybody, all the little old Korean ladies in there, like, who's last? And some little old Korean lady will put her hand up, and then you can follow her. And then when she goes in, and then she'll come out, you just go in there. He might not come and get you. If you sit there long enough not understanding what to do, then maybe he'll come and find you. But generally, you watch your little old Korean lady like a hawk. When she comes out, you just get up and you just go in the hallway that she just came from and go and find him. That's how it works. So what else is there? The old way used to be, and this is more of a standard Korean kind of style, which is you just showed up whenever you were free and just get in line and hope to God that, the line was short. But now it's better because he has this scheduling system. So just send him an email, schedule, go. Like I said, I don't care where you live. If you live far, just make the trip. It will be worth it. I promise you. It is worth every dollar, because in my life, I don't think about food. I don't worry about food. I don't think about it. I get to enjoy my life. I get to enjoy my diet. And every day I learn something new. It's like I can just get that out of the way. I can sort of get it off my plate, so to speak. It's not something I worry about, and I can just fully turn my attention to all these other things. It is the most liberating experience to just not think about your diet. Now you know what you need to eat. This is what it is. I'll say this, that the way the system works is it's not like when you get your type that you just get to eat all the zeros and that means you get to eat more X's. No, the more important thing is getting rid of those X's and triangles and not eating those. That's what's important here. Okay, because those are having a bad effect on your body, whether you see it now or whether you see it when you're older. It's having a bad effect on your body, and that's the problem here. So all of you, go see Dr. Kuon. When you get your type, shoot me an email. We can set up a time. I'll be happy to walk you through your type. I'm happy to talk to any of you. We'll just set up a time. We'll have a little FaceTime call or whatever, and I'll walk you through your type. I'll tell you what's what, and I'm happy to hear from all of you. I don't care if 1,000 of you go and see him, and all call me up. I will talk to all of you because this is something that I'm really sort of passionate about as far as sending my patients there. It's sort of it's just I try to send every single patient I can to him because I have seen so many times how much help people get from this. So whether your help is just in your digestion or whether it's more dramatic, it's harder to say how that'll go for you. But this, even if it's not a dramatic change, knowing this, you can just stop worrying. There's probably a million things I'm forgetting to say about this. Go see him. I think it's $120, and it's just one time you go back. If this was $5,000, we'd be having the same conversation. I'd still be yelling at you to go. So, gosh darn it, go see this guy. Go see Dr. Kuon. Tell him I say hi. And like I said, dude, I don't care where you live. Come, go see him. It's unbelievable how much this will help you. Go to Disneyland while you're here or something. I don't know. All right, guys, take it easy. Go see Dr. Kuon, and we'll talk soon. Okay.